Good morning, everyone. All right, should be live right now. There we go. Dennisa is live.
I am? Okay.
Yes, you are. I wonder if I am.
I'm alive. I'm alive.
I'm alive.
I got an alert that you were live, so...
Maybe it's not alerting for me to be live, but you being live.
Oh, I see that Elevate Community Church is now live. So,
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, listen, guys. Welcome this morning. We're doing a little bit of a coffee talk, or as Dennisa likes to say.
Yeah. So we're doing a little pre-service talk called Coffee Talk.
Coffee talk.
So, yeah, we have our coffee, or coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
And we're going to have a few moments where we do coffee talk together. So here, when I start talking like this, it's ridiculous. I just get stuck like this forever.
Forever.
Yeah, so it's a coffee talk, but we're having coffee talk this morning. So if you want to get your coffee and talk with us, we would love to talk with you and park the car in the backyard. No, that's a different one.
Park the car. Coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
So I'm not nearly as good at the Brooklyn accent as a coffee talk.
Yeah, he usually goes into like a...
I end up Irish or Scottish or something. Hey, coffee talk. What's happening there?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird little switcheroo.
Rolling my R's.
But we're having coffee talk this morning, and so we wanted to, we wanted to just talk with you and see how you're doing. So how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? So we wanted to connect with you this morning and find out, where you're watching from. Have some coffee talk with you. So I know last week we had people watch. We had somebody watching from the Philippines.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That's fantastic.
I know. It was pretty awesome. So we want to just connect with you and.
So do us a favor. If you're watching on Facebook, would you click the share button? If you click on that, you can do a watch party, and you can invite other people to jump in. We would absolutely love that.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. If you're watching on church online, you can text the link to a friend, to a neighbor, to the whole neighborhood, to the building you live in if you want to. But do us a favor. Comment below where you are, and maybe who's watching with you, or how many people you got, or hopefully it's not more than 10. But yeah, comment below.
Well,
We'd love to find out.
More than 10 online, though, so that's a good thing.
In your house, though, is what I meant.
Although I wanted to say that I just wanted to give a shout out to Coco because she made a delivery yesterday for us to have masks because we've been doing our bandanas and
we look kind of scary.
Yeah, it was kind of scary. So I feel like I'm gonna mess up my makeup right now, but this is happening.
Okay. So she gave us these so we wouldn't look so scary when we're at the store.
I feel like you look really scary.
For real?
Dude, your beard is like sticking out the bottom. I don't know what's happening. I also am like, we gotta work with it. We'll work on it.
Okay. And it's impossible to drink coffee.
Coffee talk.
Coffee.
We're going to put these on, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
We just wanted to give a shout out to all the people who are making these hand-made masks. I know that it is a lot of work.
That's me.
Yeah, the audio is coming through. It's a lot of work to put together these masks, but there are people who are putting them together. Lisa Tam, I know that she's been working on putting these together. One of Tati's friends has actually helped donate some. We know Alexis, she has been working on getting masks out to the masses. And so we just wanted to say thank you for all the ways that you're, helping out. You're helping out flattening the curve. Coffee talk.
Coffee talk. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, you can do that as well. You can put your questions in the comments on Facebook and Church Online, and we'll try to answer those as we go. But we're getting ready to get going, so we've got about 20 seconds before our service officially starts. So there's still time to host a watch party.
Yes.
There's still time to share it with a friend.
We just want to give a shout out to Rachel Morrison.
Boom.
Mo Vigil.
Yeah.
Got plenty people.
Plenty people. Here we go. 5, 4, 3.
Also, our hand can disappear. Hey everyone, how's it going? We're so glad that you joined us for Elevate Online Home Edition. Come on in.
Hey guys, before we get going, I just wanted to take 1 second and talk to anybody that's visiting us for the very first time. We wanted to say thanks for joining us. We know that going to church can maybe be a little bit weird and maybe watching it online feels strange, but we wanted to let you know that we're super excited that you would join us, and I bet you're going to have fun if you just stick around. Jump in with worship this morning. You can sit if you want to, you can stand if you want to, but would you do me a favor? Would you praise with us? Here we go. Father, we have come to bow down in worship, lifting up our hearts. We bow down. Sing hallelujah. Hallelujah. Lover of our souls. Hallelujah. With all of heaven we are singing. Okay. Bright and morning star. Bright and morning star, your eyes blaze like fire, shining like the sun. You're our one desire. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
technology great? We would love to stay connected with you. You can actually go to our website at elevatecommunity.church. We'll be updating it often. On our website, you'll be able to find a full list of groups that you can join us virtually via Zoom. We'll also have our current Bible reading plan. Hey, and if it's your first time, you can actually listen to some of our past messages from when we were meeting in person. We would love to connect with you. As you know, there's a lot of hurting people in the world around us. As a church, we're doing our best to help reach as many people as possible. But we need your help. We would love for you to continue and partner with us in giving. There's one of three ways that you can do that. You can go to our website at elevatecommunity.church/give. You can text any amount to 84321, or if you're watching with the Church Online platform, you can click on the banner below. We'll be right back.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing once again?
Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Long time no see.
I know. It feels like forever and forever ago.
I know. The last time I saw you was Sunday.
I know.
Really weird. I've been walking around blindfolded. So, yeah.
Put her mask here instead of here.
Yeah, I was like, this is very helpful. How many of you feel that way right now? Yeah. Well, yeah, it's good to be. I can't believe it's Sunday already.
Oh man, it's
Don't
crazy.
you feel like the weeks are going like they're like zooming by?
And somehow so slow too. It's weird.
Yeah, now I know why they call it Zoom.
Boom.
Boom, Zoom.
I just want to say hi to a few people.
Yeah.
Elisha, Angie, and Alex. We want to say hi to Bruce and Linda and Wayne and Marie, Annette. Man, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, if you jumped on Church Online and it wasn't working, and so then you moved to Facebook, that's okay. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We got Church Online up and running again. I'm not sure what happened. A little bit of a snafu, if you will.
Yeah, that's a fun word to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's working now, so if you wanted to jump back there and whatever, however you want to do it, it's fine.
Yeah, I also wanted to give a shout out to my childhood friend, Tani.
Oh, what's up, Tani?
Watching. I know. We were neighbors for many years, and so we had a lot of fun in the streets of Martha Street. So lots and lots of fun. We wanted to say hi to Dell and Sean, Auntie Ann, Annette and Uncle Pete,
Boom.
Jacob Valdez, Coco, Landon and Camille.
Yeah. Hey, Nana.
Ooh, we got Amber watching all the way from her living room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey guys, we just wanted to say thanks once again, and if you are watching on Facebook, do us a favor, share this video right now, host it, send it to some friends. We got stuff going on, and man, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Today is going to be great. We're starting a brand new series, and I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So Pastor Brandon, one of our great friends, who pastors at New Hope Metro, he was saying, I prefer Kung Fu to Snafu. So
Snafu instead of Kung Fu.
Fu.
That makes a whole ton of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably would be good at Kung Fu. Please share this link with other people that, maybe just needing a little bit of encouragement this morning, because I know for me, I'm definitely in a place where one day I'm doing really fine and we're on cloud 9, and then the next day I am really struggling. So maybe you're in that place right now, or you know somebody who's really kind of in a place where they're just needing a little encouragement.
Yep.
We want to connect with you this morning and just let you know that you're not alone. If you are visiting for the first time, you can text the word guest to 808-670-1653.
Yep, 670-1653. And it's important because we want to be able to give you the information that you need for groups, for Bible studies. We have a Bible reading plan, all kinds of stuff. And so, guys, if it's your first time here, do that. Do it right now. Have somebody give me your phone and type text the word guest to 808-670-1653. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and it's a great way to connect. Even if you live in a different part of the world or you're in a different part of the country, it's been really neat to connect. And our Thursday Bible study, one of my friends who is co-pastors a church in California, she spoke to our small group. It was a lot of fun. We just were really encouraged by what she had to share, what she had to say. And so you can join in. You can go to our website and find more information about that.
Absolutely. Hey, we did an outreach this week, and it was awesome.
It was so much fun. So in our neighborhood, there is a senior living facility. It's the St. Francis Medical Center.
Yeah.
It's an amazing facility that they do a lot of work here in the community, helping people recover, helping people get through hard times. And, they do a lot for even some seniors who are kind of in hospice or going through a hard time. And so we connected with them. We were supposed to do an outreach for St. Patrick's Day, but that didn't happen because, as you know,
of all the stuff.
All the things that didn't happen, all the canceled events, but we were able to connect with them and say, how can we help? What can we do? Is there anything that we can do? And so they give us some really great pointers on what we can do. So this week we actually went out on Thursday and we took them some burritos. And
they're really good, from Tio's Tamales. If you've never had them, order out, do some takeout. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But we took them 20 burritos, and it was for the frontline workers, not for anyone else. We couldn't afford to feed everybody.
Right.
But man, it was so awesome, and they were so appreciative.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We were able to bless the frontline workers with the burritos. And the cool thing about this is that, because people are giving to the Elevate Life Outreach Fund, we're able to fund this whole thing through our outreach program. So if you want to give to that, you can do that online as well. And but it's been really cool because not only do we love burritos, but we're going to actually be going back this next Thursday as well, and we're going to be bringing them another something delicious. So, so we want to encourage you to partner with us in that. Maybe you can't get out of your house, maybe you're stuck at home, like majority of the country is right now, but you want to give back. Here's a great way that you can do that. And one of the other things that we're working on right now is we're putting together a small gift that we can take to them. So one of the things that as you know, that the seniors living in that area or living in the facility cannot have visitors, right? They can't have any outside visitors. So they're lonely. I mean, we're lonely, right? And so they're lonely. And so what we're going to be doing is collecting donations for them of board games. We're going to be collecting donations of DVDs and crossword puzzles, things like that. So if you want to get more involved in that, it would be a great way to give back, and it's something that would really bless them. It's something that they're needing right here in this moment. So,
and you can do that on our website. Just choose the Elevate Life projects, and everything you give will go straight to this project. So we're excited about it. We have a question for you, and I want to say hi to Jamie real quick, all the way in Vegas. What's up, my man? We have a question this week, as we do every week, and we want you to talk about it. The question of the day is, do you feel rested or restless so far? Rested versus restless. So we're going to answer that, and you take a minute and then answer it for the people you're with, and make sure and put the comments so that we can know what your answers are. But let me ask you, do you feel rested or restless?
Well, it's really weird because I enjoy sleeping.
She does. World class, Olympic grade.
Right. If there was an award for who sleeps the longest,
it would be the dog first.
Yeah, our dog is definitely definitely winning in that department. But I would say that it's our dog number one, and then maybe my daughter and I are tied for second place because I just love to sleep. But the thing is that I've been really restless lately. I'll go to sleep like you normally do, and then I'll just kind of toss and turn. And even when I wake up in the mornings, I don't feel completely rested. I don't know if you're with me on that, but it's really difficult to get the rest right now. Even though we're having more downtime, it feels like it's not real rest sometimes. And so that's something that I've kind of been working through. We got PJ Flanders. Marie, Maddie, Madeline is watching.
Hi.
Oh, we love you, Maddie. Myra, my mom, Nana.
Yeah, you called her Myra. That was weird.
Myra
So,
is watching.
hey guys, do us a favor.
Do you feel restless?
Answer that question in the comments. Do you feel restless? Give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, or man, I'm rested, feeling great, or whatever. So we're going to give you just about 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, so you can post it in the comments whether or not you feel rested or restless.
So let us know. We'll be right back with you. All right, bring it on back. Bring it on back. So we got some people that are feeling restless. Depends on the day. Some people said, Annette said restless. A lot of people are feeling very restless. And before we even get there, I wanna show you guys something. Last week we had so much fun with our Easter egg hunt with the kiddos. We decided to do something similar this week. And so we hid some drums and drum kind of stuff in the keynote. We also hid some stuff around our living room. So if you see this drum, it's going to be smaller and kind of hidden. But listen, if you want to, kids, you can keep track, and we're going to be playing games with that. And so it'll be a lot of fun. But listen, a lot of people are feeling restless. And some people said it depends on the day. I feel like I'm like that too. It depends on the day, what's happening. There's just so much going on. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to start a brand new series called The New Norm. Look at your neighbor and say the new norm. Go ahead, do it. Maybe poke them, but don't be mean. You don't want any fist fights this morning. But we have a brand new series called The New Norm, and that's kind of where we're at right now, this new normal. And man, it just started this year. It's a lot going on. Some of you might look at this logo and go, oh, this is a little bit familiar. Maybe for some of you that are older, maybe I'm dating myself by showing you this, but this actually came from the long-running TV sitcom Cheers. Cheers, and there was a guy on Cheers, and his name was Norm. That's him over there. And so maybe you're like, oh, I've seen that. For you millennials and younger kids, you're going, what? Cheers, that sounds lame. It was great. It was a great show. I used to watch it when I was a kid. But that's Norm. But here's what Norm would look like today. He's still alive, but this is the new Norm now. You know what I mean? He's got a mask on. Skadoom. I don't know. But for you and I, we know that our whole country, in fact, the whole world is being affected by so many different things right now, and what used to be normal isn't normal anymore. And maybe you're feeling like I'm feeling. I just want to go somewhere that everybody knows my name. I just want to go back to church. I want to go back to my favorite restaurants. I want to go back to the gym. Just kidding. I don't go to the gym. Nobody would know me there. I want to go back to these places that I loved. Here's the bottom line, guys. We all want to go back to this place, and a really good friend of ours, in fact, an old roommate of mine, wrote a song based on the theme song from Cheers. He's a great friend. Him and his wife, they actually live in Kansas City, and so I texted him this week and said, hey, would you be willing to let us use your song? And he absolutely agreed, so you're going to see him singing. But we made a video about this song, and man, I think you're really going to like it. So do me a favor, check out this video.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad to care. You wanna be where you see the troubles are all the same. You wanna get where everybody knows your name. It's love is what I'm thinking of. love is so simple. All the people in the place, them I love you more. Them I love you, them I adore you, them I really want to show you. Ghetto love is what you're looking for. Okay, walking out the ghetto and them people said, hey, that's the only dream that we always had. Now that I make it, say they got to go back. Show love to the people that never turn it back on me.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna get where everybody knows your
For real. I was born in the ghetto where the people had a little, and the only thing we had was love for my people. Now we gone from the ghetto, and the only thing remains is the love for my land and the love for my kids. Okay, now when I go back, everybody know my name. We don't rep our blocks, we rep my land. And everybody in the chat, that's my clan. Show love to the people that never turn their back on this.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna get where everybody knows your name. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna get where everybody knows your name.
On my brethren, and on my sisters, that never turned it back. You know me? That never walked away from me. You know me?
Oh man, thank you so much, Samson, for letting us use your song. We are super excited about it. But whether we like it or not, Norm looks a lot different these days. And most of us don't like it. And that's okay. You know, our initial response to all of this was shock and disbelief and doubt and fear. I know myself, I was a skeptic. I'm like, how can something that far away affect me? And we've talked about these things before, but now we're 20, 30 days in. For some of you, I'm not sure where you're watching from, you're even further into this process, and things are a lot different. Normal looks a lot different. You know, I love memes, and so I found a few that kind of sum up where we're at right now. This one's hilarious. It says, I did a load of pajamas so I would have clean work clothes this week. Because that's true. It's like we're just wearing pajamas and we don't know what's happening. And sometimes it's like either I change my clothes too much or I don't change them near enough. What is happening? This one's really funny. My wife shared this one. It's great. She says, anybody else feel like they've cooked dinner about 395 times so far this month? What is happening? It's like so many meals. Oh, man. And it's nuts. What about this one? This one was my favorite. And she shared, in fact, I think she shared all of these. This one's awesome. When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. That was horrific. I can sing, and that was just terrible. But man, it feels like 2020 is just, you know what I mean? Somebody said, have we tried giving it a Snickers? Like, did we press reset on this thing? What is happening to this year? It is so much going on. And for you and I, the thing that you've got to recognize is that normal looks different. It looks strange. It's not okay, and this is really the new norm for us. And you know, it's good to laugh at some of these things because if not, we'd be crying about them. But things aren't looking good right now. I mean, we're in one of the worst recessions economic recessions that we've been in a long time, and it's honestly kind of scary. I pulled up some stats yesterday from Hawaii, and in Hawaii, 230,000 people are unemployed. 230,000 people. If you think about it, 37%, that's 37%, that's the highest in the nation. 37% of the people who live here are unemployed. Our tourism is such a big point of our economy. It brings in so much money, and it is at a standstill right now. The DOE, I don't know how it is where you're at, but the DOE has closed public schools through the end of the year. Parents, look at me. You're going to have your kids at home until August, probably. Yikes. You know what I mean? What? Breathe. You know what I mean? Like, this is the new normal. The state, at least Hawaii, keeps changing. All the mandates keep changing, and it's like, we don't know what's going to happen one day to the next. We've got to wear masks, and you can only be 1 or 2 people when you go to the store. It's crazy what is going on. And everybody is talking about flattening the curve, and I think it's working. In fact, in Hawaii, it feels like it's working, and maybe where you're watching from, it feels like it's working. But here's the thing that I want to acknowledge this morning, and we need to acknowledge that although flattening the curve is super important, it absolutely is, and we need to be staying home so that we can do that. We need to also talk about another curve this morning. There's a learning curve that's happening, and we need to acknowledge that curve. There's a learning curve because none of us have been through this before, and here's the thing. Even though we're trying to flatten the curve, today we need to have grace for the curve. This learning curve that's happening in our lives. None of us have experienced this before. Think about your first that you've been through. Maybe your first relationship or your first job or your first apartment. You had no idea what you were doing. And it took time to figure things out. There's a learning curve that's happening right now, and you and I need to recognize that and have grace for it, for ourselves and for the people that are in our lives, the people that we're living with, the people that are closest to us. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about the new normal. And today, we're going to be talking about Joshua. Now, I don't want to bore you with all the details. I love this story. In fact, on Tuesdays at noon, I do a Zoom Bible study. It lasts about 1 hour, and we go kind of verse by verse, word by word, where we talk about Joshua. And so we've been doing it over 2 years now, and we're in Joshua chapter 6. So you can tell we're going really slow. But here's the thing that you need to know about Joshua. Joshua was the guy that took over for Moses. Moses brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, and they wandered in the wilderness for a while. And then Joshua comes on the scene. He was kind of like Moses' apprentice, his right-hand dude. Joshua takes over, and what happens is we pick up here in Joshua, and God is talking to him, speaking to him about what is going to happen. And so they went from Egypt, this slavery, this idea of too many rules, being stuck, being trapped. And then they went into the wilderness, this wandering time where there were no rules at all, kind of this pendulum swing in their lives. And maybe it's kind of like us. Maybe we used to be slaves to our calendars and slaves to our social life and slaves to sports and our commitments, and we were busy, 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 busy. In fact, that's how we would answer it. Pastor Dennisa said that last week. We used to answer, hey, how are you doing? And we'd say busy. Now it's different. Now maybe we're in this wilderness time where we have nothing and we're wandering kind of aimlessly through life. Maybe that's how you feel. So we're going to pick up in Joshua, and this is Joshua chapter 3, verses 1 through 4. And I want to show you how Joshua responded to this, how the children of Israel responded to this. It says this. It says, early in the morning, Joshua and all the Israelites set out from Shittim. Maybe you feel like that's where you're at right now. Okay? I don't know. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't think I am. But you know what? Maybe you feel like you're trying to set out from Shittim. We got to get out of here. This is not going okay. But the Bible says they went to the Jordan, this river that was separating them from where they were to where they wanted to go. And they camped before crossing over. After 3 days, the officers went throughout the camp, giving orders to the people. When you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God and the Levitical priests carrying it. Now, I'm going to stop there because maybe you're new to church and you're like, what is the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord? What does that even mean, right? Okay, listen, for you and I, maybe you've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Indiana Jones. Here's what it kind of looks like. It was a gold-covered box that had these angels on them. The Bible calls them cherubim, but it was these fancy angels that would cover the top of it, and the priest would carry this thing. What Joshua was telling the people is when you see the priests carrying this box, it probably weighed a lot, but for you and I, the only thing you really got to know about it is that it was a physical representation of God's presence. It was the thing that represented God's presence, His power, His authority, and the priests who were carrying it were kind of like the spiritual leaders in the time. Joshua told the people, when you see that, right, you want to recognize it, acknowledge God's presence. So let's read on. Here's what it says. When you see the priest carrying the ark, it says you are to move out from your positions and follow it. Follow God's presence. That makes sense. Let's read this yellow part with me. Then you will know which way to go since you have never been this way before. That's really good. I'm going to read that again. Then you will know which way to go since you have never been this way before. Isn't that strange? They had never been that way. They'd never been that path. But what Joshua's telling the people is if you follow the priests, if you follow God's presence, you're going to know which way to go, even though you've never been that way before. Isn't that interesting? Follow your spiritual leaders because you've never done this before. But then it says something really interesting. Let's look at this. Here's what it says. But keep a distance of about 2,000 cubits between you and the ark. Do not go near it. Now, for those of you that have no idea what a cubit is, and I didn't, a cubit is about the distance from your elbow to the tip of your finger. And so for me, because I'm super tall, I'm just kidding. Mine's probably a short cubit compared to somebody that has a long cubit, but it's basically this distance from your elbow to the tip of your finger, and that's how they would measure things. They didn't have tape measures back then, and so 2,000 cubits roughly is about a half a mile. And what Joshua was saying is keep distance of about a half a mile between you and the ark, you and God's presence, and don't go near it. Isn't that a weird thing to tell the people? Don't go near God's presence. Kind of stay back from the priests, stay back from your spiritual leaders. Why did he say that? Why did he say to keep distance? Why did he say to make space? I want to show you a picture, and when you see this, I think you're going to recognize why. You and I have seen this when you're driving around. This is a fire truck, obviously. And when you're driving around, you've noticed they usually have a sign that says, stay back 300 feet. Why is that? Well, the reason why that is because you don't know where they're going. You have no idea. You don't know when they're going to stop. You don't know when they're going to turn. You have no idea. And so because of that, you want to keep distance so that you have time to respond. And you're not like, right? It's not like driving in traffic where you're tailgating the person in front of you and the person is behind you is tailgating, and if anything happens, there's going to be a huge traffic jam. That's not what this is. They're saying stay back so that you don't cause a fender bender, so that you don't cause an accident. They're saying stay back so that you have time to respond. Because you don't know where the fire truck is going, you need time. You need to make space so that you have time to respond. You need to have grace for the curve. The learning curve that we're all on. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so have grace. Your spouse is being super impatient. Have grace. Your kids are getting on your last nerve. Have grace. Don't attack. Don't be so quick to don't. Just let's take a step back. Your boss doesn't know how to respond to the emails you sent him. Have grace. Now, there's other reasons theologically that the Israelites needed to stay back because God's presence is pure, but I think that's the thing that the Lord is telling you today. I know that's the thing that He's telling me is, why don't we take a step back and have grace? Make space for this learning curve that we're all in. None of us have done this before. We're all doing this for the first time. This is all new. We talked about this next scripture before, and it's such a great scripture, and Dennisa, I want to thank her. She helps so much with this message. She helps so much with all these messages. She does so much. But she showed me this scripture in the message, and I love this version because of what it says. It says, and this is Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. It says, are you tired? Are you worn out? Are you burned out on religion? Are you burned out on your schedule? Are you burned out on your life right now? Are you restless? Come to me. Get away with me, and you'll recover your life. That's a promise from Jesus. I'll show you how to take a real rest. I'll show you how not to wake up tired. walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Oh, I love that picture. But here's what he says. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. Learn into it. Lean into these unforced rhythms. It's so important. Some of us are trying to keep the same rhythm we had before, and we're going crazy. Maybe you're working and you're an essential worker and you're working in healthcare and you're just going and going and going, but you're carrying so much stress at work right now. Man, it's impossible. It is impossible right now to do what you did before. Maybe you lost your job and you're trying to stay busy, but you've run out of things to do and you're frustrated because you're trying to do what you did before. We need to slow down, back up, make some space. Don't force it. And don't get stuck doing everything or doing nothing. I feel like that's where I am. I'm in this pendulum back and forth of I'm super motivated and I'm doing everything and I stress myself out and then I give up and I'm all the way over here. I'm like, oh, I can't do it anymore. And it's just swinging back and forth. Maybe if I was able to make some space, have more grace for this season. Have grace for the curve that we're all in. We've never done this before and we're all learning. I wanted to show you guys this idea, and this is a metronome. And I have some drumsticks and a drum pad. And so when we practice, and I used to play the drums a lot more than I do, but they encourage you to use a metronome so that you're not getting off, you're speeding up or slowing down. And so some of us, we're trying to do the same thing that we used to do, but we can't keep up the pace. We need to slow down. We need to take a step back. And so I'm going to turn this metronome on, and you'll be able to hear it. Some of us are doing this, and maybe before this whole thing happened, we're trying to keep the schedule. Wait, let me try to get back on. But, because of things, we're just going, and busyness and schedules and going out and all the things that we're doing in the movies and the friends and the sports and all the stuff that we're doing. Before you know it, we can't keep up with the things that are happening, and it's just going all too fast. And then COVID happened. And so now we're sitting here and we're looking, and we're trying to get back on schedule. And I picked this beat because this is the resting heartbeat for someone my age, or at least what it's supposed to be. And as we go, we can get back into this unforced rhythms of grace. We can kind of get back into it and find the cadence of our lives again. And we can all learn. Maybe we can get on the same schedule. And if we're not paying attention, if we're not being intentional about it, it's really easy to get off and to speed up or to slow down or to swing back and forth on these pendulums of life, doing everything or doing nothing. Can I encourage you this morning? Would you do yourself a favor? Would you take a step back? Would you make space for this curve? Would you make space as we learn? Would you take space for your spouse, for your kids? Would you take space for yourself? Have grace for this learning curve that we're all on. It's new. It's different. Would you have grace for the curve? I want you to answer a question. And what's funny about this is I think everybody, if you're married or you have roommates, I could probably fill this in for you, but here's the question I want you to answer this morning. I want you to fill in this blank, and maybe don't type it in the comments, okay, because that might be embarrassing for people, but blank, who is the person, who is the one getting on your last nerve? Who is that person that's driving you nuts? That person, they definitely need the most grace for the curve. Remember, they're learning just like you are learning. This is their first pandemic just like it is yours. They need grace for the curve. And so what we're going to do for just a moment is I want you to take a second. I'm going to call Pastor Dennisa up, and she's going to finish us off in prayer. And she's going to help us kind of apply some of this. But for you, take a minute and make a mental note. Who is that person that's getting on my last nerve? They are the ones that need the most grace for the curve. Would you take a moment, make a mental note, maybe make a note in your phone, maybe it's your boss, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your kid's teacher, Maybe it's the person that you're, I don't know who it is. Would you take a second, answer that question yourself, and then Dennisa is going to come up and finish us off in prayer.
You know, when Pastor Jack and I were talking about the message this week, and you know, we were talking about this idea of flattening the curve, and this is kind of a thing that has been all over, right? Like, we're watching the news, and they're saying it's working, and I want to believe that it's working because there have been moments where I have found myself just kind of discouraged, and I don't know about you, but I think that pendulum idea of, you know, sometimes my heart is racing and I'm thinking about all these things that are happening, negative things that are happening, hearing about all the things that are happening in the world around us, and it's just sort of on the side of worry. And then there's this other moments where I find this sort of solace and peace, and I kind of lean into the presence of God. And I just want to encourage you, you know, this morning as you're, you know, watching online and you're connecting with us online, and maybe you're in that place. You know, we've been saying this, we say this every week. What is God speaking to you? And really, it's a question that only you can answer. And I know if I were to fill in the blank of who is getting on my last nerve, I think it's not any mystery that it's Zach. But I'm sure I'm the one that's getting on his nerves because we love each other, and as much as we love each other, we also drive each other crazy. And any person who is married can probably identify with that. And so we got to understand that there is grace for one another, that we have to have grace for one another, that we have to have grace for the things that matter most. And so you know, right now I'm just going to pray for you. And if you're watching online, maybe you're in that place where you're thinking of that person. Maybe you didn't say it out loud like I did, but you're thinking it, and you're saying, this person is driving me crazy right now. I'm having a hard time communicating with them. I'm having a hard time. We're connected, but we're so disconnected. We're in the same house, but we're struggling to walk through these things. You know, yesterday we had a nice little conversation where we talked about these things, and we were in the middle of lunch, and we had what was called the corn dog of communication. We were eating corn dogs, and it was kind of like the microphone, and we passed around. We said, okay, your turn to share. And each of us kind of shared, you know, how this has been challenging for us, you know, as a family, how we're having a hard time connecting, how we're having a hard time really understanding one another, and we're having a hard time, you know, getting our downtime and our space and just resting. And so we're kind of all in different places right now, and I know there are some people who are sitting and watching online, and they're in a place where maybe you're in that place right now where you're struggling to have grace for the people in your life, and you feel like you're wandering in the desert, and maybe you feel like you're all alone, and you're kind of like at the end of your rope. Like, I want to talk to you specifically. I know some of us, we have it all figured out, and we're spending lots of time in prayer, reading our Bible, and watching The Chosen, and doing all the right things. But I want to speak to the person who's down and out. I want to speak to the person who is really struggling through this pandemic to find peace, to find solace, to find Jesus. I want to speak to that person because that is the person that God is after. He's after you, friend. He set this whole thing up to get to your heart. Number one, to let you know that He is present. But the other thing is that He has grace for you. And so I just want to pray for you, and you know, if you need prayer, we want you to connect with us in prayer. You can reach out in Messenger on our inbox if you're on Facebook, or you can, if you're on the church online platform, you can click on the prayer button. We have people who are standing by waiting to pray for you. People who are saying, hey, you know what? I see you. I get you. I feel you. I know what you're walking through, and you're not alone. And so I want to pray for you. And so if you would, even maybe in the comments, just lift your hand and say, yeah, I kind of need prayer. And I want to pray for that specific person. So Jesus, I just pray for every person who right now is just feeling the anxiety of what's happening, who maybe is hopeful about flattening the curve, but also feeling really like they're wandering in this desert, and they're discouraged, and they're going through all of these different things, and they're needing space from those that they love the most, but also appreciating the fact that they're healthy and that they're whole. And so God, I just pray for those that are watching online right now, those that feel disconnected and far from you. I ask that you would draw them into your presence. God, I ask that even though right now church looks different and it's frustrating and it's not the same, God, your word says that you are the same yesterday, today, and forever. That you never leave us, that you never forsake us. That there's not a moment in our life that you have not seen, that you do not know, that you are not aware of. And God, so I just pray for every one of us who is in a different place right now, whether we're in a different place physically or whether emotionally we just feel very disconnected. I ask, God, that you would come in and you would meet us in a real place, that you would meet us right where we are. I ask, God, that you would help us to overcome the things that we're struggling through. God, I ask that in spite of all of the complications of what's happening in our world, those that are unemployed or underemployed or right now out of a job or looking for a job, I ask, God, that you would meet their very need, that you would meet them right where they are, that you would show up as Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides, that you would show up in their everyday conversations around their dinner table, that you would bring your grace into those things, that they would have grace for the curve, for the learning curve that everyone is going through right now. Learning how to do things differently, learning how to carry on, learning how to show up to work, learning how to stay home, learning how to do what applies to our unique lives. You're such a personal God. So I just lift them up to you, and I ask, God, that this week that you would, they would find that unforced rhythm, that it would not feel forced, that it wouldn't feel hard or difficult, but God, that you would show up in their house, show up in their homes, show up in their workplace, show up online, Lord, and give them a rhythm that works for this season. Give them wisdom and insight on how to find your rhythm. What are you doing in this season, that they would lean into your voice, that they would lean into your pattern for their life, that they would lean into the cadence of what you're playing over them. They would not lean into the cadence of what the media says. They would not lean into the cadence of what everyone else is doing, even what's happening on social media, but they would lean into the cadence of your heartbeat, that you would lead them through this pandemic, and that you would provide the peace that surpasses their understanding, that you would show up in their time of need and be present. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Amen. We're so grateful that you joined us this morning, and we're going to be spending a few more moments in worship, and we would encourage you to spend this time just worshiping and surrendering to God. We love you. We'll see you again real soon, hopefully.
I found you in the middle of my mess. will prophesy your promise. I believe you, God, 'cause you finished what you start. I will trust you in the process. I believe you, God, when I only see in part. I will prophesy your promise. I believe you, God, 'cause you finished what you start. I will trust you in the process. I believe you, God. And fear can go to hell, and shame can go there too. 'Cause I know whose I am. God, I belong to you. And fear can go to hell, and shame can go there too. 'Cause I know whose I am. God, I belong to you. And fear can go to hell, and shame can go there too. 'Cause I know whose I am. God, I belong to you. And fear can go to hell, shame can go there too. I know whose I am. God, I belong to you. And fear can go to hell, and shame can go there too. I know whose I am. God, I belong to you. And fear can go to hell, and shame can go there too. 'Cause I know whose I am. God, I belong to you. When I only see in part, I will prophesy your promise. I believe you, God, 'cause you finished what you start. I will trust you in the process. I believe you, God, when I only see in part. I will prophesy your promise. I believe you, God, 'cause you finished what you start. I will trust you in the process. I believe you, God, when I only see in part. I will prophesy your promise. I believe you, God, 'cause you finished what you start. I will trust you in the process. I believe you, God. I believe you, God. Oh, I believe you, God. I believe you, God. 'Cause I believe you, God. It's more than I can stand. Oh, I melt in your peace. It's overwhelming. Oh, it's overwhelming. Oh, it's overwhelming. Oh, it's I wanna sit at your feet, drink from the cup in your hand, lay back against you and feel your heartbeat. Oh, this love is so deep, it's more than I can stand. Oh, I melt in your peace, it's overwhelming. I wanna sit at your feet, drink from the cup in your hand, lay back against you and breathe. Oh, this love is so deep, it's more than I can stand. Oh, I melt in your peace, it's overwhelming. Sing all I want, and all I want is just to know your heart. So would you keep me here until when? All I want is just to know your heart. So would you keep me here until when? Sing all I want. All I want is just to know your heart. And would you keep me here until when? One, yeah, Jesus. All I want is just to know your heart. And would you keep me here until when? One, oh, make this your prayer. And all I want is just to know your heart. So would you keep me here until when? And all I want is just to know your heart. So would you keep me here until when? One, all I want is just to know your heart. So would you keep me here until when? One, oh, we're desperate for you. And all I want is just to know your heart. So would you keep me here until when? One, I wanna sing. I wanna sit at your feet, drink from the cup in your hand, lay back against you and breathe, feel your heartbeat. Oh, this love is so deep, it's more than I can stand. Oh, I melt in your peace, it's overwhelming. We want to be that close, oh, we're not afraid, oh, we're not afraid, oh, we want to be close, oh, we want to be close to us, and we want to be close to you, Jesus. Oh, we love you, just tell him that. You want to be close to him, you want to be close to him. Oh, we want to be close to you, Jesus. Face to face, and eye to eye, oh, Jesus.
your feet. I wanna sit at your feet. I wanna sit at your feet. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I wanna sit at your feet. In a busy world around us, I wanna sit at your feet. Just tell him right now. I wanna sit at your feet. I wanna sit at your feet. I wanna sit at your feet. Oh, I wanna sit at your Thank you for being so close, for never wanting to leave us. Thank you for Holy Spirit living and breathing inside of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're so much closer than we think, oh. You're so much closer than we know. In the same way we want to be with you, you want to be with us 1,000 times more, Jesus. Oh, we love you, 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 Jesus. What a kind dad we love. Oh, we love, oh, we love. And there's nowhere else I'd rather be than at your feet, Jesus. Oh, we love, oh, we love. I wanna sit at your feet, drink from the cup in your hand, lay back against you and breathe, feel your heartbeat. This love is so deep, oh, it's more than I can stand. I melt in your peace, it's overwhelming.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Even though you can't leave your house, I know you could spend your Sunday morning doing just about anything else. And so the fact that you spent it with us is amazing. We wanted to remind you, for any information that you need, check our website, elevatecommunity.church. If it is your first time with us, do us a favor, go online and click the I'm New button. You can fill out a Get Connected card. We'd love to give you some more information. But one thing we want you to know for sure is that we love you and we are in this together. You are not alone.